Welcome. This tutorial guides you through developing a form action flow to save data from the computer inspection form to a SQL database. We'll be using Supabase for a free PostgreSQL database, but the concepts also apply to MySQL or MS SQL. Prerequisites: a SQL database. To set up the database for this flow, you'll need a table named Computer Inspection with columns matching the form's API property names and data types. Ensure the comment column is nullable. Additionally, database access should be configured to allow read-write permissions for authenticated users. Record the database host, port, database name, and username for later use. Building the flow. In the Forms list, click on the flow icon on the Computer Inspection row. A list of flows will be displayed. Now click on the Create button and choose the Form Action Flow. Title: enter Save to Database. Description: enter description as Save to PostgreSQL database on Supabase or similar. Select the On Complete option. Click on Save to create the flow. You will now be navigated to the Flow Builder. Understanding the steps. Before we develop the flow, let us draw a flow chart of the different steps we need to perform to save the data. Developing the flow. In the Flow Builder, the Add Node dialog should already be open. If not, click on the Form Action Flow node, and then the plus icon will be displayed below the node. Search for the JSON parser node by typing JSON and clicking on it. The JSON parser node is now opened, and you can configure it. Change the title to Extract Form, and remember to connect the Form Action Flow Node Success Connector to this node, else the Expression Builder will not display all the possible fields and nodes. Since we want to work with the form data, click on the Form Fields section. For Map Field Name, select Form Data. Under Expression, click on the spanner icon to open the Expression Builder. To extract the data, we need to know what format it will be submitted in. In the Expression Builder windows, click on the option icon to open the data format screen. Since this is the first time we are checking this, there is no data. Click on the Add Form Data button, and the form will now be displayed. Fill in the form and submit it. Remember, this is just test data for us to work with the flow. It is not data that is submitted by an end user and hence does not affect the system status. The data format is displayed in the JSON editor. Click on the editor, select the entire JSON, and copy it. Note that the condition is set to warning, so we can enter a comment in the form and get it in the format. Paste the data into the JSON window on the left. The expression builder we use for JSON parsing is a tool called JSON ATA. We now need to extract only the fields we want to persist in. The same JSON ATA expression can rename the attributes in the output JSON if the column names do not match the API property names. In our example, since the column names and API property names match, we will write an expression to extract the required data as it is. Important: the JSON data needs to be an object with the table name as an attribute and the value of the actual row of data. This allows the no-code SQL engine to determine the data for each table specified. Since a comment is an optional field, we will use the inbuilt $exists function to check if a comment is present, and if not found, add a comment with a null value to the output JSON. Paste the expression from the document into the mapping expression window on the right. The extracted data is now displayed at the bottom. Confirm that what is displayed is correct. Now click on Save and close the builder. Click on the Save icon and save the node. We need to save the data to the PostgreSQL database. Select the Extract Form node and then click on the plus icon. Search for the SQL Query node by typing in SQL and clicking on it. The SQL Query node is now opened and you can configure it. Change the title to Save Form Data and remember to connect the Extract Form Node Success Connector to this node. First, we need to configure a new database server. To do so, click on the plus icon next to the Database Server dropdown. The Add System dialog is displayed. Enter the following data: description, Supabase, or anything else you desire. Identifier. This is a unique identifier for the system. Database, PostgreSQL, or any other database of your choice. Server. Enter the host name from the Supabase config. Port, code, database name. User. Copy the username from Supabase database settings and paste. Password. Enter the password you configured when you created the project. Save the system. Now choose the newly added Supabase system. Select execution type as operation, since we will insert the data into the database directly. Select SQL operation as insert. For keys, click the spanner icon, choose the table computer inspection, and click Save. Under Data to Process, click the spanner icon and enter result in the search box. The previously added extract form node with result is now shown. And save to accept it. Now click on Save to save the node. Connect the Save Form Data node to success. Now click on the Publish button to save and compile the flow. If the compilation is successful, it will also be published, and we can run it to test. Testing the flow. We are ready to test the flow now that we have published it. The Flow Builder has an integrated run and debug tool to help us troubleshoot the flow in case of errors. Now click on the Run Flow button. The Run dialog is displayed. You can now enter form test data by clicking the Form Data button. Run the flow by clicking on the Run button. The flow should run successfully. If there are errors, they could be due to mistakes made while configuring the system or copying-pasting the expression or something similar. Check each step carefully with the documentation. Now log in to the external database GUI tool and check the computer inspection table. Voila! The form test data that you entered must be inserted into the table. Go ahead and make some changes to the form test data and run the flow again. Refresh the table in the external database GUI and confirm if a second row is now inserted. Congratulations! You have successfully built a robust data handling workflow using the TurboForms app to save computer inspection form data to a SQL database. This automated process ensures accurate data capture and improves data integrity. Thank you for watching.